an award this week, a national award for franchise. Now, some of you might not know what that is, and better than I explain it is an expert and somebody who has won many awards for coming up with an idea that is scalable, an entrepreneur that has developed what we now call evergreen skills, skills that won't run out or stop, they will last forever. So please give a warm welcome to Anne-Marie Martin.
Thank you. So good evening, gentlemen. I'm just here to tell you a little bit about my story in the hope that it may inspire you. I am very lucky that I do a job that I have passion for. And I built a business around something that I've been passionate about all my life. Now I understand that as children it's not always something that we will find, especially not from an early age. But I started dancing at the age of 3. And I enjoyed it, and I found I was quite good at it. So I carried that on, and at school I worked hard because I also had a reality that maybe becoming the next Darcy Russell might have been a little bit too far above there. But it was something that I didn't want to give up a dream of, but I also wanted to make sure that I had my academic studies and make sure that I worked hard at school so that I had also the qualifications to do other things should I not become Darcy Russell, which I didn't. But it's okay. And so what I did after GCSEs, I went on and did my A-level in dance, and I went on to do a degree in contemporary dance as well. And through my degree, I decided that I really enjoyed teaching dance as well. So I then did that for my dissertation, and I moved on to then going and performing. So I moved down to London, I studied in Leeds, and I moved down to London and embarked on auditioning. And that's where it's definitely an area you will build resilience. You will get knocked back constantly, and you have to fight through that and get through those barriers and keep positive and believe that you can make it. So after many auditions, I was very fortunate that I got to dance in some amazing places and some things that you've probably never heard of, like Top of the Pops. I also performed at the Brit Awards. I was in various music videos and performed again with artists such as Bryan Adams, Chicane, Ash, probably again. It's okay. I then decided that I would pursue my teaching a little bit more, and I would find myself travelling all over London, even north of the river. And I would travel and I would teach in the evenings, I'd be teaching during the day, I'd be teaching college students, I'd be teaching young children, I'd be teaching at performing arts schools all weekend, just trying to make ends meet and making sure that I was doing something that I was still passionate about. And that passion saw me through all of that as well, because some days I'd have jobs coming out of my ears and some weeks I wouldn't have anything. But I had that drive and I had that passion and I had that belief to keep me through those down times. So it was from there that I decided that there was a niche in the market. And I, for my sins, decided that teaching toddlers would be a really good idea. So I devised these toddler dance classes and tested them in North London, and they were popular. I then geographically tested them, so I tested them in South London and East London, and found that they were popular there as well. So I did a small amount of market research and found that I thought there was a scope for a business here. So that was back in 2003. And I then decided, are people paying into me to teach their children, or could this be scalable where I could get other people to do this for me? So again, I decided to take on some teachers, some freelancers, and they taught classes for me just in London, and they also seemed popular. I seemed to have found a niche in the market and a lesson plan that was working and engaging the under 5s. So it was then in 2006, after 3 years of testing the market, that I then decided to look at franchising. Now, franchising has a rather broad meaning at the moment. A Star Wars film is known as a franchise, but that's the American term for it. Franchising means you build a business in a box, that you can sell that business in a box to somebody else to replicate it and run it in their own area. So I worked with a franchise consultant because at the end of the day I had a dance background. I didn't do any business qualifications, I didn't have any business experience, but I knew this was what I wanted to do, so I sought out the experts to help me do that. And I made sure that I got the right help and I could play on the skills and the strengths that I had and bring in other people who had different skills and strengths that I didn't. So I brought on the franchise consultant, and in 2006 we did 3 pilot franchises. So we tested the market outside of London with 3 friends of mine, and they took on the franchise for free in return for me testing the market and seeing how it would work and seeing how I would be as a franchisor. Then in 2010, so I had my first son in 2008, so that business side of it took a small back step, and then in 2010 I decided to push it properly then. We went from 3 pilot franchises to now we have 44 franchises across the UK, from Glasgow right down to Plymouth, and they all run the Diddi Dance way. I manage all of those 44 franchisees with a team of staff now in my head office. And then 3 years ago I also decided to open a multi-use children's centre in Woolwich called Under One Roof Kids, just to maybe tip my own sanity over the edge. But working with children is my passion. Working with the early years is another big passion. Setting and helping set healthy habits in our children is what I'm passionate about through physical activity, and learning through play and learning through dance, and seeing that creativity come out in the young, and hoping that that will see them to being physically fit and active adults into later life. So thank you for listening. I'll be around later if anybody has any questions, especially about franchising. Thank you.